Have y'all ever wondered why so many athletes, musicians, and celebrities have this Basquiat crown tattooed on them, or they buy his paintings so often? I have all the evidence to show y'all. This is Jay-Z and Beyonce standing in front of one of Basquiat's paintings that says knowledge of the cone. And look, it has that same crown all in black and the word Amorite all in black. It also has that 2/3 with the cone shape all in black. I think it's funny that they both happen to be wearing all black, just like the crown that's bold in black, and so is the word Amorite in black. I'm pretty sure it's showing exactly who they come from, because we're about to show you who the Amorites are. The Amorites were a powerful ancient Semitic people mentioned frequently in the Old Testament. In the Bible, they are primarily portrayed as the prominent warlike inhabitants of Canaan and symbolize the pagan nations God commanded the Israelites to drive out due to their idolatrous and sinful practices. Descendants of Canaan. Genesis lists the Amorites among the descendants of Canaan, the son of Ham, placing them in the region that later became Israel, Jordan, and Syria. Now look at this Basquiat painting over New York that says empire with that same crown. That's because the Amorites ruled Babylon early on. I'll show you. Yes, the Amorites ruled Babylon during the First Babylonian Dynasty, 1894 through 1595 BCE. Amorite leaders gained control of various Mesopotamian city-states after the fall of Ur III, with their most notable achievement being establishment of Amorite dynasty in Babylon, which included the famous king Hammurabi. An Amorite chieftain named Sumu Abum established an independent city-state at Babylon. The sixth and most famous king of this dynasty, Hammurabi, was an Amorite who expanded Babylon's control across Mesopotamia. In Mesopotamia, specially designed conical or horned hats like the three-horned cap, like the three-horned crown that I just showed y'all, symbolized divine or high-ranking status from the Bronze Age onward. These hats often depicted horns rising from a cap, representing gods, kings, or priests to denote power, ritual, and a connection between the human and the divine realms. This variant, often associated with the god An, and Anunnaki right there, depicted a cap with 3 stacked curved horns pointing upwards, representing high divine status. This is 3 stacked horns pointing upwards. You got LeBron James with this tattoo on his arm. You got hers tatted on her chest right there. Look at this one on the ankle. This is Chris Rock's first ever tattoo, and he happened to get this on his shoulder. And he even had his daughter get the same one on her back, but with the dinosaur from Basquiat's painting. As you can see, it's literally from Basquiat's painting right here. Just like this weird alien-looking deity with the 3-pointed crown above him too. Remember, this depicted gods, aka the fallen angels, and their kings and their priests. It's funny because Jay-Z calls himself the new Basquiat too. And here's a literal picture of Jay-Z with the same crown, the 3-pointed crown above his head. And look what it says, Thor. And he says in his lyrics for Picasso Baby, yellow Basquiat in my kitchen corner. We know that the crown is a yellow crown. Go ahead, lean on that, Blue. You own it. That's because this is the serpent seed. These are the fallen angels and their offspring. And that's who's ruling our world and getting the glory to this day. They want to worship just like God. So they rebel with Satan, because Satan says that he wants to be just like the Most High, that he wants to sit above all the angels. And all the fallen angels that made a pact with him rebelled. This is them trying to get their worship on this earth. Conical caps are historically associated in representation of Norse gods, including Thor. That's that 3-pointed cap we're talking about, the conical cap. These pointed hats, sometimes described as a Phrygian cap, can be found on miniature pendants, images stones, and mentioned in, for example, the Viking clothing book by Thor Ewing. In pagan Norse tradition, Thor and other gods, fallen angels, are frequently depicted wearing these conical hats to distinguish them. This is so that they could set themselves apart from the rest of us. Why you think all these famous celebrities are so fascinated with his paintings and also putting that on their skin? It's to set themselves apart. Celebrities who own or are strongly associated with Jean Basquiat's signature 3-pointed crown include Jay-Z, Beyonce, Swizz Beatz, Alicia Keys, Lenny Kravitz, Madonna, Johnny Depp, Elton John. These collectors often display the art as a symbol of power, authenticity, and cultural, racial, and artistic significance. Now back to this picture, the knowledge of the cone. How ironic that the word for this crown is conical, of all things. Over time, these caps evolved, early depictions showing distinct separated horns, while later Babylonian styles often merged them into more stylized forms. The Pinecone Association, an Assyrian release Figures like Apkallu, or protective spirits, are frequently depicted carrying a bucket and a pine cone for ritual purification. Pointed hats, similar to those found in Mesopotamian, Egyptian, and Central European cultures, were used as signs of religious ritual, authority, and status from the Bronze Age. The horned cap, also known as the conical cap, in Babylon and Assyria was potent. Conical symbol of divine status worn by the gods, mythological heroes, and sometimes kings in Mesopotamian art. Often adorned with feathers or a knob, this headgear marks a semi-divine or divine authority. Its usage, shape, and symbolic meaning evolved across different periods and cultures, specifically in the late Kassite, Neo-Babylonian, and Neo-Assyrian eras. It acted as a general marker of divinity worn by gods such as Anu, Enlil, Assur, or heroes. Now, the word conical derives from the Greek konikos, cone shape, stemming from konos, which is cone, spinning top, or pine cone. How ironic that it has pine cone in it. Let me show you why. All the Anunnaki gods happened to have this crown they wore, had a pine cone in one hand and a bucket in the other. Just like you see right here. Pine cone in one hand, bucket in the other, and wearing some sort of head crown. Even the Catholic Church be having this same pine cone and wearing some sort of head covering to represent this. And even their own Vatican has a pine cone right there in front of our face. Just like Dagon, the fish god that's in the Bible, right here with the pine cone, the head covering, and a handbag or a bucket at the bottom. And this Catholic Church crown is called a conical crown as well. It's a triple crown. Same with this one. Do you see the layers? That's 3 layers. It's a triple crown. It's a conical cap. The pineal gland, or the pineal gland, gets its name from its literal physical resemblance to a pine cone. Located deep within the brain, this pea-sized endocrine gland controls your sleep-wake cycles, circadian rhythm, by producing melatonin. Historically, these two structures have been deeply intertwined in biology, art, and mysticism. You can't make this up. Both the pineal gland and the pine cone are highly sensitive to light. While the pine cone opens and closes its scales based on light humidity to release seeds, the pineal gland regulates the body's sleep patterns in response to light and dark cycles of the day. Spiritual symbolism. Because of its shape and its location at the geometric center of the brain, the pineal gland is often referred to as the third eye and is associated with spiritual awakening and higher consciousness. The pine cone serves as an ancient symbol of this enlightenment. You can find this all in ancient Egyptian, Greek, and Roman. And the pineal gland is famously regarded as the seat of the soul, a concept primarily established by 17th century French philosopher René Descartes. Descartes proposed it as a main interface between the physical body and the immaterial soul. It is often associated with the third eye or the mystical sixth chakra. Descartes believed that because the soul is indivisible, the body control center must also be a single unified organ. He designated the pineal gland as the place where thoughts are formed and where the soul interacts with the body. They even have it in the Trolls movie where the Bergens are ruling over the trolls and they eat the trolls on Trollstice, which was another thing for winter solstice. And look at that free builder G at the bottom of that, under the crown. Like the serpent seed, how Tubal-Cain was the first free builder ever. And it even has stars on each side of the G to represent the fallen angels that are the serpent seed, that are the free builders. And look at again, they got the crown in black with the word Venus and Madonna next to each other. Venus is Ishtar, the queen of heaven, Inanna, Aphrodite, all through different cultures. Like you got the Greeks, the Romans, the Egyptians, the Mesopotamians, that all just rebrand her name over and over. It's the same exact goddess. You got the satanic star right here as well. And of course, you got the crown above this eagle right here, because they keep on just rebranding themselves. Because this eagle was in Mesopotamia, it was in Egypt, it was in Greece, it was in Rome, it's in America. But they tell you exactly who they are, and this is right in our faces. This is the Amorites. Why do you think Jay-Z happens to be in New York and calls himself the king of New York? It's Babylon. This is where they ruled their dynasty, and they're still ruling right now. Why do you think so many of the juice boxes happen to live in New York? You think that's a coincidence? Or that our very Pentagon created the fake land over there in 1948?